Hey everyone, this is TJR, and I've just finished watching episode 15 of Twin Peaks The Return, entitled There's Some Fear in Letting Go. And wow, what an episode this was, just like the last one. So many things happening, and let's see if I can try to make some sense of it all. If I were to sum up this episode, I would say that it is primarily focused on love, darkness, and death. And let's begin with love. First, we begin with just tremendous happiness before darkness and sadness. And we open, of course, with Nadine telling Ed that he is free. And I can't tell you how overjoyed I was to see Norma and Ed finally together, finally happy. They almost got back together at the end of season 2, right before Nadine woke up from her delusion that she was still in high school. And a friend of mine who was watching with me literally burst into applause when she saw the two of them kiss each other. That aerial shot of the clouds while hearing Otis Redding's Monterey Pop Festival performance of I've Been Loving You Too Long summarized this perfect moment of happiness before we then enter darkness with Evil Coop going down dark highway, just like we've seen in Mulholland Drive and Lost Highway, to the convenience store with the woodsman, and for a meeting with Philip Jeffries, who is now some kind of a large black kettle that bears some resemblance to the machine in the Giant's Castle, except that it has, once again, a kettle spout spewing out steam. That sequence where the steam forms numbers for Evil Coop to write down was one of the more memorable dreamlike sequences in the series so far. After his meeting with Philip Jeffries as a tea kettle, he then runs into Richard Horne, who has been following him and suspects that he is FBI agent Dale Cooper. And it's funny how you just can't get enough of seeing Richard Horne get the crap beaten out of him, even if it's Evil Coop doing the beating. Evil Cooper finds out that Richard is Audrey Horne's son and tells him to get in the car. By and large, I have to assume that Evil Cooper doesn't give 2 cents worth for Richard Horne, and the only reason he tells him to get in the car is because he wants to talk to him about Audrey Horne, or he wants information about Audrey Horne. Notice how I said he wants it, not needs it. Evil Coop doesn't need anything. If there was a conversation between the two of them about that after they drive off, I do have to wonder what that conversation was, and I hope we'll get to hopefully hear some of that in the next episode. But also, as they drive off, that convenience store winks out of existence. I do have to wonder, did Richard Horne even see the convenience store? Who knows? And is the woman who opened the door to Philip Jeffries' room, could she have been the character of Mrs. Tremond, the woman who gave Laura Palmer the picture in Fire Walk with Me? The original actress, Frances Bay, passed away a number of years back, so David Lynch could be forgiven for casting a different actress in the part. But there is no indication in the credits during the closing of the episode to indicate this. But to quote Led Zeppelin, it makes me wonder. We are then left to wonder if Stephen, husband of Becky, has in fact shot himself after Gersten Hayward, daughter of Doc Hayward and sister of Donna Hayward, runs away from a stranger, and we hear that gunshot. Was that last sentence just a little too convoluted? Let's not forget what show we're watching, though. So then we're back at the Roadhouse, where Freddie keeps 2 punks from beating the crap out of James by putting the 2 of them in intensive care with his superpowered green-gloved hand. This lands both James and Freddy in jail, in the same room as Chad, the man with the bleeding mouth, and Nido, don't know if I'm saying it right, the eyeless woman, who Deputy Brennan has said is very important after his very surreal meeting with the fireman. And having these two characters now this close together makes me think that Freddy is now very close to fulfilling whatever that special destiny is that he needs to fulfill in Twin Peaks. This finally leads us to death as Margaret Lanterman, the log lady, calls Hawk for the last time. She gives Hawk one more cryptic message and then tells him that she is dying. And this is one of the most transformative moments, not only in this season, but probably the entire series. It's no secret, of course, that Catherine Coulson, who plays the log lady, passed away not too long after filming her scenes for this series. And it's easy to picture that all of her scenes were just simply shot at once in one day. Here we have an actress who is nearing the end of her life and knows it, portraying a woman who is nearing the end of her life and knows it. And she has also been a very close and personal friend to director David Lynch. I can't imagine what this must have been like on the day of shooting. The log lady tells Hawk that there is some fear in letting go, but she also tells him that he knows that death is just a change and not an ending. Hawk summons Andy, Lucy, and Sheriff Truman together to give the news. And there is a moment of silence in the series. And the TV series Twin Peaks says goodbye not only to the log lady, but also to actress Catherine Coulson. And then finally comes a shock I don't think anyone was expecting. And my apologies, there was no pun intended there. Sunset Boulevard has for a long time been one of my favorite movies. And I also have read that it is a favorite of David Lynch's as well. So to me, that it is no coincidence that the Gordon Cole character was named after that film. But I don't think that anyone involved in the creation of the series could have foreseen that that little piece of trivia would end up playing a very pivotal role in this episode. So Dougie Jones, aka Good Cooper, or perhaps better referred to as Comatose Cooper, appears to have finally woken up. And he is woken up while watching a scene from Sunset Boulevard when he hears the name Gordon Cole mentioned. This prompts him to stick his fork into an electrical outlet. And this does not surprise me, since hearing the name Gordon Cole mentioned in the film Sunset Boulevard has oftentimes had a similar effect on me as well. I think that the assumed expectation is that this shock will bring back Agent Dale Cooper to the series. But I also have to wonder if this won't simply electrocute him. Could this be the death of Agent Dale Cooper? And is dying what he needs to do in order to cross that divide into the same area where Philip Jeffries is? And will this be where he finally has his final showdown with Bad Cooper? Who knows? I could be completely wrong about this, but it has been the habit of this show to defy expectations. And so I have to wonder if we also didn't see in this episode the death of Agent Dale Cooper. And if Agent Cooper is dead, then perhaps the first scene we'll see will be him walking into the room with Audrey and her husband, thus proving that Audrey is not in Twin Peaks at all. And does anyone care to take a guess as to what that young girl crawling across the roadhouse floor might have been screaming about? This is TJR. I'm looking forward to checking out your comments and hearing what you think of this episode. And be sure to save a slice of cherry pie for me. Thanks for watching. Bye-bye.